Hello class, we are in chapter number 7, The Wonders of the Sky. As you all realize, I did skip chapter number 6 because I do want to do chapter 6 whenever you come back to school, if you do come back to school. But moving on to our first section, we are looking at the amazing sun, chapter number 7, section number 1. First off, the greater light. God created the sun the fourth day of creation, so God caused the sun, the greater light, to rule the day to shine upon the earth. Before I move on to the next slide, I would just want to tell you, if you are taking notes or you are highlighting, you can just pause my video just for a few seconds, finish up taking notes, and then restart the video again. But we do see that God created the sun to rule the day. Therefore, God created the moon to rule the night, to shine upon the earth. The immense sun. Let's go and learn about the sun itself. It's as large as 1,300,000 Earths together. That means if you put 1,300,000 Earths together, you're gonna get the size of the Earth. So we know that the Earth, the sun is really big compared to the Earth. And whenever we just look at the Earth itself, we think it's big. But whenever you look at the sun, it's gonna be huge. It takes only 8 minutes for the sun rays to travel 93 million miles to the earth. If you remember, what is the speed of light? Speed of light is 186,000 miles per second. That means it's going to take about 8 minutes to travel 93 million miles, which is the distance between the sun and the earth. The helpful sun. Now, God created the sun. What is the sun useful? What does the sun do to our earth? Obviously, it will shine upon our earth during the day, giving us light, but the sun will also give food to all living things, and it's also a source of energy. What do we call that source of energy? How does the sun give food to all living things? It's called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process by which green plants use the energy of sunlight to change water and carbon dioxide to sugar and oxygen. So we do call that certain process of changing water and carbon dioxide to food, we call it photosynthesis. Okay? Now, photo in that certain word means light. So the light is shining through the living thing, creating water and carbon to food. The sun also has different layers, such as the earth has different layers. First off, we do have the first layer of the sun, which is the core, which is the innermost section of the sun. One thing that we do have to know about the core of the sun is the temperature of the core, which is about 11,000 to 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. We did learn the different Fahrenheits, and we did learn that the boiling point of water is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Just imagine 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. That's the temperature of the core of the sun. Moving on to the next layer, which is going to be the outer layers of the sun, we have the photosphere. Sounds very similar to photosynthesis. Photo meaning light. So we know photosphere as the sphere of light is the surface layer of the sun, and it's what we see with our eyes. So whenever we're looking at the sun, what we see from the sun is actually the photosphere. And then we have the sunspots. Those are the dark spots on the sun, on the surface of the sun. One thing that we do have to note is that photosphere is very bright. They can be very harmful to the eyes of anyone that looks directly to it. Sunspots are caused by the sun's magnetic field. They are darker because they are much cooler than the other gases in the sun. I do have a quick story before I move on to the next slide. Know how the photosphere is very bright and can be harmful to our eyes. Whenever I was in 5th grade, not in 5th grade, in elementary, I don't remember what grade was it. In Bible, I did learn that God created the sun. So what I thought is, whenever you're looking at the sun, I thought that God was going to talk back to you. From home to school, I had to travel by bus for about an hour. And for that exactly an hour, I was just looking at the sun. So I was looking at the sun's photosphere for an entire hour. And I think from that day, it was when I started actually wearing glasses. Yes, I do have a different story of when I started wearing glasses, but I think this is one of the reasons of why I started wearing glasses is because I looked at the sun's photosphere for about an hour. So don't try that at home. But moving on to the next slide. Another outer layer that we do have to know about the sun is the chromosphere. Okay? It's a sphere of color. Chromo meaning color. We do know it by Chrome browser. We know it by Chromebook. And if you see that sign, it has different colors. So the chromosphere is a sphere of color. It is the atmosphere that surrounds the photosphere with giant bursts of gas. And we also have the sun's outer layer, which is known as the corona. It's not the coronavirus. It's actually the layer of the sun, also known as the corona, which is the vapor blanket that surrounds the entire chromosphere. So that will be our lesson for today for science. So do make sure to study and read chapter number 7, section number 1. And at the very end, you are going to do a comprehension check in page 181, I believe it is. You're going to do numbers 1, 2, and 3. Goodbye.